Welcome back to the GreenHulk Garage. I'm Greg Gaddis, and today we're going to take a slow jet ski and make it fast. So behind me I have a 2021 GP1800R, and this one is an HO model, meaning it's not supercharged. So that means it's going to be a little bit slower than everything that we've done so far in the past year. But we're going to make it faster than a stock supercharged watercraft. So what makes all the supercharged watercraft so fast is they have a supercharger forcing air directly into the intake, and being that the engine is an air pump, the more air you can get in and the more air you can get out, the more power you're going to make. And the key to doing that on an HO model is to free up air from the restrictive intake, the restrictive flame arrestor, and a tune to tie it all together. And we're going to add a few goodies as well. But that's going to be the main power for this build. So we'll be adding the Riva Racing intake. We've got a velocity stack for smooth transition of airflow. We also got the engine breather kit, so where the intake is not sucking up the crankcase vapors that do rob power. We've got a Solus 1115 impeller that I'm going to repitch to an 1116 because with all these mods, the RPMs will be too high with an 1115. And to tie it all together, we're going to have a Riva ride plate. The stock ride plates on these watercraft, while they are much better than previous years, I still consider them to be garbage. They porpoise a lot at speed and when cruising around. So with this ride plate, we will gain speed, we will lose that porpoising effect, and it will track straighter and handle better. So we'll pull this stock intake off. It's actually pretty simple, and we're gonna get this intake system on. It's a lot simpler than the SVHO model, a lot less parts, and it can be done very, very quickly. So right here, we've got the restrictive stock air box. We're getting rid of this. It's going to make the engine bay much cleaner, and in order to do that, we are going to need a flathead screwdriver to remove this hose clamp and this hose clamp here that's on the throttle body. This is simple enough for you to pinch with your fingers and pull off. This is what the engine breather kit is going to go to, and we'll get to that in a bit. And then you'll need a 12mm to undo the bolts on the airbox, and we'll get to that in just a second. After you get the intake hose removed and the front portion of the airbox, you can take off these 12mm bolts. There's 4, 2 on each side, and remove the back of the airbox. Once that's removed, I will cut the zip tie here to disconnect the water exit line from the oil cooler on this mounting bracket, and I will remove this mounting bracket. You can leave this bracket in here and the instructions say to do that, but I think this looks incomplete and like something's missing, so I'm going to take this off and secure the water exit line with some adhesive zip tie down, and that'll clean up the look much better than what this is. So now that we got the stock filter out of the box, you can see this is a paper filter. And not only is this paper filter poor for performance, paper and water do not mix well together. This is not good for a marine application in general. And this Riva filter is going to be much better. This has no paper element in it at all. So not only will this flow more air, it is going to be more water resistant in the long run and therefore more reliable. So now if you're only installing this Riva power filter kit, you can go right along to it. But we will be installing the intake manifold upgrade, so I'm going to get to this after we do that. So in order to install that, we need to remove the throttle body and then the spacer behind it. To get the throttle body off, it's going to be 4 10mm bolts and then 4 12mm bolts holding this on. Once that's off, the flame arrestor will come right out, and we can see how restrictive that actually is. Now that this flame arrestor is out, we can replace that with the intake manifold upgrade kit. Now, as I said earlier, the engine is an air pump. The more air you can get in and the more air you can get out, the better it's going to perform and the more power it will make. And obviously, this is going to flow way more air than this. So all we have to do is transfer this gasket on over to this and push it right back in. And you see this arrow here. This arrow is going to point towards the throttle body, so it's going to be, in this case, the front of the ski, like that. Because this is tapered, you want to put it in the correct orientation. I've already reinstalled the throttle body after putting the intake manifold upgrade in there. So now we'll be able to install a power filter kit. And the first thing we'll have to do is put on this collar, so we'll be able to thread on the velocity stack. And you can see it's got these 3 dots going around it. All of these 3 dots need to be on the same side and face the throttle body, but we will pull it flush against this little ring going around it. And you will tighten this up with the included Allen wrench that comes with the kit. Now all we'll have to do is put on this filter, and that'll slide on there just like that. We can slide the hose clamp back and tighten that up with an 8mm, and that will be it for the power filter kit. And after that, we'll get the engine breather installed, and that's going to be it for the engine mod so far. So to install this breather kit, I took this bolt out the valve cover to install this clamp that is included with this kit, but I did have to trim this hose to fit it to my liking. I had to take several inches off the bottom where it connects to the engine, and then I trimmed about 1 inch right here to get this filter in this location with a nice clean fit, and now we'll be able to install the engine cover back on. So the install is done on all of this. I actually bolted up the Riva ride plate and added a little pitch to the 1115 impeller and installed that. I didn't put that on camera, but if you want to see how to do that, I've got other videos and I will link that in the description below. So the goal for this is to be faster than a supercharged jet ski straight from the factory, and supercharged jet skis have a speed limiter set between 68 and 69 miles per hour. Now they may peak at 70, 71, but they will come down to a sustained 68 or 69. And that's going to be the goal, to either match that or beat it by a little bit, just so this can be just as fast or even faster than a supercharged watercraft. We're going to take it to the water and find out if it's got what it takes. So that was 70.6 miles per hour. Here it is on GPS. So with that, you can make a naturally aspirated ski faster than a stock supercharged watercraft fairly easily with a few mods that don't cost too much. You probably take a day to install it all and get it to the water and test it out. And this is going to be accelerating a lot harder too. So I know the owner is going to be real happy to this. I'm about to put him on it so he could try it out. And that's going to be it for this video, guys. If you want me to install something on your jet ski, don't hesitate to contact me. My information will be in the description below. Thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.